What's up, outliers? Quick market update, and today it's a little bit of a somber one. We have some bad news. Unfortunately, our fan favorite Kenneth C. Griffin, CEO of Citadel LLC. It's a real bummer to see these kinds of things come down. It's, man, Citadel Securities, they're going to have to pay a $1 million fine for alleged FINRA rule violations. And you think, like, how could this happen, right? Ken obviously cares a lot. He's a man of the people. And for me, I personally hate to see FINRA, SEC, bully people that take such good care of us. So let's just get into the details here and see what happened to go after our guy here. Because, I mean, I might have to start a petition in his favor because this is unbelievable. You got to take care of those who take care of you. So let's read through this. And I have a bunch of things we'll review with respect to this, but from the start of its consolidated audit trail, it's CAT system, I'm just going to refer to it as that instead of that whole thing each time. On 22 June 20 through 28 Aug 24, Citadel Securities failed to timely and or accurately report data for tens of billions of equity and option order events. Let's talk about that, right? Tens of billions. I think it's like 42 billion or something like that. I mean, who doesn't make a mistake once in a while, right? I've made mistakes. So it's hard for me to conceive that FINRA would come down so hard on somebody for making just a few mistakes. And you think about it, it's not like this went on for like decades, right? It's only 4 years. So it's like, how could we expect something like Citadel and Ken in order to get a system in place to actually fall in line with these crazy compliance metrics and, you know, market transparency? It's like, it's so unreasonable. So to hit him over a 4-year series of errors and something that amounts right here, right? 3 types of errors accounted for 41.8 billion. Who hasn't made a couple errors in their time? So it feels like a really harsh punishment to me. So let's continue to see the kind of errors we've made. Did not report 0 in the leaves quantity field for certain fully canceled orders, impacting 31.2 billion canceled order events. Applied the representative eligible indicator. Looks like we had a little bit of a typo here. See, I'm telling you, happens to everybody. Instead of the representative indicator to 6.3 billion new order events, did not populate the IOC time and force code for 4.3 billion order events. That's like, you know, shit. You just hate to see it. So then if we pop over here, we can find the FINRA letter right there. You click that, it'll take you to this page. Well, really, it'll take you to one page before this page. Then you can get, I'll just show you so that you can follow along. You go here, you go down to the bottom, you just pop into this bad Larry right here. And then when you click this bad Larry, this one will pop up. And then now we can read through the actual FINRA filing. And let's just see what happened here. So it talks about the background, essentially what's supposed to happen. So from the start of the CAT reporting obligation through 28 August 24, there were some errors, a couple errors. And we can see they have a fact list of all the different things, the violations that they have. It's only a few of them, right? So there's just like a couple small rules here that we're not following. You can see the issues laid out. See, look at this. By 22 September, Citadel Securities had remediated the 33 error types the firm experienced up to 31 July. So, you know, they're trying to right their wrongs out here. So, you know, good for them, right? After remediating the 33 error types, they identified 4 additional issues. Who hasn't found another problem after you find one problem? Now, here's the deal that we all, I think, have to take a giant step back and understand. This is an institution with only 64 billion in assets. It's not reasonable for them to have a functioning compliance arm that are staffed with like real people that can follow the rules, right? It's not. How could they? You can't get that past the budget. I'm sitting here trying to pay a YouTube video editor once in a while, and I can only afford to pay him once a week. So, I feel them here as a small business owner. This just, it really resonates. You only have 64 billion to play with. You're only take a look at this. It's a crisis mode. They're essentially making 2.3 billion in a quarter from trading activities. They posted only 6.3 billion in net trading revenue last year, which is down from 7.5 billion the year before. Money's got to come from somewhere. So, it's not like they're working with a bunch of assets to hire the right people. And if you look at Ken, it's like, well, what's he going to do, right? Like, he's only 43 billion. So if you think about what that adds up to, it's unreasonable. And I think that we actually should take a moment to get to the bottom of this and see what this would look like for them. So we have Kenny G, 43 billion. We have Citadel, 64 billion. We have a regular US person might be about $100,000, right? Maybe total net worth, something like that. And we have our really big bad fine right here. That's this one, which is $1 million. So this might look like the math hasn't started yet. It is. It has. We just actually need to add a couple more decimal places. So in putting this $1 million in the context of Kenny G and or Citadel's assets, this is what we have. So you click increase decimal places, and you might think, Eric, there's an error with your formula. Obviously, it's not mathing. You need to do the formulas. No, the formula's there, but we just have to add more decimals to understand what percentage of their net worth this $1 million fine represents. So let's just click it again. And it's like, oh no, Google Sheets isn't loading at this point because we're at 0.00. We're not even at a rounding factor yet, which is, it can't be that low, could it? Then we'll click it again, and there we go. So I told you it was working. I told you it was working just fine. So if we click that out one more time to see what these numbers are, we can see for, poor Ken, this $1 million fine would represent 0.0023% of his total assets. And for the Citadel LLC organization as a whole, this represents 0.0016. So you can see that it's really this would take a massive toll on Ken, unfortunately. Now, you might be curious, I'm a curious kind of person. Let's move these over here and let's just kind of take a look at an equivalence here. Let's say that you're a normal US person, maybe you have $100,000, and let's take a look at what this equivalent is for you, because I would want to know, right? So I can empathize appropriately with Ken and Citadel. I need to understand their plight. So that's what I aim to do. I want to know, out of my money, what's the equivalent percentage? How much am I paying? And we need to see what this looks like, because the equivalent of $1 million going to Ken or Citadel, which comes in at this percentage of their total net worth, on $100,000, about $1.56. I'm sure they won't do it again.